Hey people, how are you doing? How are you coping with this big lockdown? It doesn't really bother me too much. I mean, I like the world as currently it is a pretty quiet place, and we've had some amazing weather the last month. Don't know whether that's a coincidence or what, but I won't mention the C word because I am sick of hearing about it. It's everywhere. So it's probably been a month since I did a video, and really I've just had my head down making knives. I've not really had anything of a video to show you because it's just like general run-of-the-mill stuff, and I've not really had any other projects other than completing orders. But I've come up with a project I can do. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'm going to do it today. But just before then, I'll show you what I'm up to. Made some really nice knives lately. These are just 3 that are about to go out. I'll show them you now. And by the way guys, can I give a shout out to Tyrrell Knife Works? Great guy over in the States. He's built a forging press like mine. I can just see the head. It looks pretty much the same as mine. So, and he's making some lovely Damascus. So go over to his channel guys. I'll put a link down there and sub him if you would. Cheers. I'll just show you some of the things I've been working on. Now I like this because it's kind of a different style of knife than I normally make, and I quite like the sheath on this. Yeah, I'll bring you in. Well, these are 3 knives that are literally just finished, and sheaths. I'll show them to you now. This is 4mm veg tan leather, and I saw a friend of mine, Robert Ratcliffe, on Zed's knife, when he made Zed's knife. What he did, I thought, what a great idea. He tilted the belt loop slightly over so that when the belt loop is on your belt, it presents the knife at a better angle. Do you know what I mean? Instead of hanging straight down, it holds it slightly forward on your leg, sort of like that, which I think is a good idea. So I've started doing that whenever I make a stitch belt loop. So I'll show you these knives. Number 1 is a design of mine. And this is actually going out to a squaddy. It's from somebody, a gift to somebody, and he's a serving soldier in the British Army. So that knife's for him. It's a Nylock stainless steel. It's got a false edge on the top, and it's got a razor blade on the bottom. And the handle is canvas micarta with some either orange or red liners. I can't remember what they are now on there. I'm pretty colourblind, so when these come out to be finished, I can't tell whether they're red or orange. That's the colour I'm allergic to, shall we say. But yeah, I don't like using Nylocks. It's a good steel, but I hate trying to finish it. It's like trying to sand glass. But it's a really nice knife, very tactical, shall we say. Very tactical. Just fits in there, really nice. The second one is a knife, which it's a Damascus, 300 layer Damascus knife with a carbon core. So you can just see a little bit more of the carbon on that side. The carbon runs right through the middle of the knife, so the billet was built up on the last stack with a piece of 1095 in the centre, and it was then forged down. You can just see the 1095 there, so the whole centre of the knife is actually 1095. The handle's Cocobolo, which I really do like that. It's beautiful wood. I've not used it that much really, but it's stunning. It's stunning wood. Nice Coke bottle shaped handle on it as well. It's a great grip. It's got 2 liners on it. It's got a black and a red, I believe. It's a red, yeah, I think it's red, that one. Black and red liners, brass pins, brass hardware, brass lanyard tube. And it really fits nice. It's a big handle. It's 4.5 inch handle, maybe slightly bigger than that. It's 4mm thick. This knife will be going on my website for sale, so by the time this video comes out, this should be on my website. It was just something I wanted to make, It's like a slightly different style of bushcraft knife, if you like. It's a tad over 4mm thick, so it's got a higher grind on it. It's just a great knife. And this last one is kind of like Zed's knife. Again, stainless sandmai steel with wenge and antler on the back, and that's got a red or orange liner. Yeah, really nice transition there. The antler still needs finishing off. It needs some kind of scrimshaw putting on it, which I will probably do tomorrow. I'm going to kind of come up with some kind of pattern to put on it with scrimshaw. I may actually video that. If you're interested, guys, let me know. I'll show you how I do it. But yeah, that's another one done. Again, about a 4.5 inch handle, lovely knife, just about 4mm thick again. 1095 and stainless. So I'll put some beauty shots right at the end of the video on these 3 knives, guys. So I thought it's about time I did something which isn't an actual order. And for quite a while, what I've been doing is saving all my little snippets and offcuts and bits of Damascus when I'm making the knives. I save them all and I just throw them in a little bucket and keeping them with the intention of making up, of forging all them pieces together with some powder steel in a kind of canoe and see what I get out of it. Because the pattern is going to be so random, I don't know whether it's going to look absolutely horrible or whether it's going to look quite cool. I've had this 1095 powder for more than a year now, and I bought it really to do some Canister Damascus, but I've never actually done any yet, so this will be a first go. I'm going to enjoy it. And I've got a piece of box section there which is 40mm inch and a half, and I'm going to cut a piece. I think it will probably take about 5 inches, maybe. Yeah, about a 5-inch piece of that, which I'll cut open and cap the ends off, and then I'll weld the top back on. It's purely because I want to kind of arrange this Damascus in the canoe rather than, you know, just dropping it all in. So there's my little canoe. It's a little bit rusty inside. That should help stop the bits and bobs sticking to the sides. So I'll start off with a little bit of powder just to coat it. And I don't really know how to lay this up. I don't know how this is going to look the best, but I know that the layers are built like that, so I kind of want to, I don't know whether turn them on the side or, I don't know. I suppose it depends on how I end up manipulating the billet. Let's just put them in anyway. Right, I'll weld the cap on there, like so. Okay, I've welded that up. Put a handle on. I've got the forge lit. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea while the forge heats up. I have got a couple more bits in the forge which I want to do whilst I'm doing this. just for economy reasons. There's a stainless Sanmai billet I forged out, which had opened up a little bit at the front when I cut the jacket off, so I'm going to reforge weld that and stick it back together. And I've got a piece of W2 which is 9mm thick, and I want to draw that out to about 4.5, 5mm to make a knife out of it, a bushcraft knife. So let's get this done. I forgot to say that I did soak all these bits of Damascus in muriatic acid last night, so they've been in about 15 hours, just cleaning any forging scale and rubbish off them. Been in here, that billet's been in here now for maybe 10-15 minutes. I've done the work on the other 2 bars I needed to do, and that has been sitting there and is now blistering hot. So I'm going to start it squashing it down on the forging press. Feels really nice and solid under the press now. I was getting a bit carried away there drawing out. I forgot I had to remove the canister from around this, so I'm going to leave it there, let it go cold, cut the can off. Feels pretty solid, that. So let's see how easy this job is. If it's going to be a pain, then I'll just grind it off. Well, after that forging, you can see I've ground that side off. You can see there is no way that jacket is going to come off there. Instead, I'm going to forge this out flat. There's a few undulations in there, so I'm going to forge it out flat, really draw that bar out, and then I can just grind this mild steel off the outside. Just why would you try and fight that for half an hour to get it off? So what was a 6-inch bar has been forged out to 12 inches now. Probably, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch thick, maybe, slightly under. I've got to take this jacket off now, which is probably about 1.5 mm, so I'm going to reduce that by about 3mm. That's why I've not gone down much further. So I want to grind that mild steel off, etch it, and just have a look and see how that pattern looks. And then if all them little bits of Damascus haven't kind of been pushed to the surface, then I'm going to forge it out further to kind of squash them all together. Well, let's see how it looks. Having ground them sides off, it's pretty nondescript at the moment. There's probably still a little bit of mild on that surface, but I'm going to forge it out thinner anyway because that bar is too thick, and then we can have a proper grind and look at the pattern. it's a good solid piece of steel. I've ground it down. I'll give you a look at it. Let's bring you in. Well, this is kind of what we've got. And it's not really, there's little bits of mild steel still on the surface of that, which will come out when it's been properly ground. You can't really see it because it's not very deep etch, this. But the rest of the pattern, the rest of the pieces of Damascus will come in once the blade edge has been ground in. So you will probably see a lot more Damascus that's hidden in the centre of this billet. These plain areas are just the 1095 powder. So, what to do? So the question is, fellas, what do we do? Do we cut that in half and get 2 knives out of it? Or do I forge it down further and clad it onto a carbon core? I don't really know what to do. Do you know what? I am going to leave the decision up to you as to what I do with this bar. So drop us a note in the comments, guys. Leave us a message. Tell us what you think. What would you do? Or what should I do? And then whatever the general consensus is, that's what I'll do. We'll either forge it out a little bit thinner, clad it onto some 1095 and forge that out, which will make the pattern bigger, or I'll just forge tips in these ends, cut it in half and kind of forge rough knife shapes out of it, and then we'll grind them and see what we've got. So guys, it's over to you. I'll leave it a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, see what the comments say, and then I'll get to it and we'll do something else with it. Alright guys, take care.